I gotta start right here. This is what I always share with people. That my very first experience with you, and this was just like really honestly like a life-changing thing for me, and it's why I like always come back, and I have not let anybody else massage me since what, like 2015, 2016.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I don't want anybody else touching me. I'll just stay tense until my house is available. So we were working like at the same spa and salon or whatever back in like 2015, 2016, and I was having horrible back pain.
Mm-hmm.
And this pain, I'm telling you, it was like, it felt like something was happening with my spine. It would like be like an intense like burning feeling, and then it would feel like a cool liquid dripping down my spine. It was strange and weird. And even like when I explained it to, like described it to a doctor, they were like, "We don't know what that is," you know? So anyways, I went for a massage because I just didn't know what else to do. And Amara was like working on my back, working the area that I told her, was hurting, and of course working around and everything. And she said to me, "What's up with this tattoo on your back?"
Yeah.
Like, "What's the story with this tattoo?"
Yeah.
So she noticed what I didn't even notice, which was that the area that was hurting was exactly where this tattoo is on my back. So I started telling her, so I'm thinking she's just asking, out of curiosity about the tattoo. So I said, this means, this represents the call of the universe. And it just means, to let your light shine and, let your creativity shine and, use, the gifts that God has given you. And she was like, "Okay, well, I noticed, that this is the same area where your back is hurting, and I feel like it's related. Like, do you feel like you're doing that right now?
Exactly. Are you doing that?
Are you answering that call? Are you letting your light shine?" And I was like it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, I was like, no, I'm not.
That realization, right?
Yeah, I had to be honest, because at that time I was working at that spa, but it wasn't the right place for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was still doing other work on the side.
Gotcha.
So I was kind of squeezing in my gifts among doing what I felt like I had to do,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's a time in your life, there's a time for that where you may have to kind of start your business on the side and then work your way into doing it full time. Sometimes that's the case. But there's a way to do that and still honor your gifts, and not treat it like a back burner type of thing. And that's what I was doing. Even though I was giving place in my life for my gifts, I wasn't honoring my gifts by treating it like a priority. And I was kind of letting my clients run the show and allowing things to happen that was like taking the joy out of what I was doing and making it feel like I was chasing the client instead of just, doing what I'm doing and letting them come to me. And then again, like I said, it was not the right environment for me to be in. Right. And I should have, found another environment. After that, that's what I did. I found another environment. And, but anyway, I knew then, I was like, this is something different that's happening here. That wasn't just a massage, because like the kicker is I never had that same pain again. I never had that exact same pain again in my back ever,
Right.
So
because it's almost like once you had that epiphany and the realization about your path and how you weren't staying true to your gift.
Yes.
That pain released itself.
It did.
Wow.
So though I still had tension in my back, it's like in a totally different place. Mm-hmm. And over the years, Amara has just taught me that is how my body manifests stress. One thing I also love about my experience with you, Amara, the experience I continue to have with you over the years, is that when I come in for a massage, most of the time, or I'll say therapists I've had in the past, is just like, okay, take your clothes off, I'll be back, get ready, lay down.
Quickly, get on the table.
And, you know, they may or may not even ask you where you're hurting. You know, I've had experiences where, like, I wasn't even asked, like, what's hurting? I'm like, how are you rubbing? You don't know. How you don't even know where to rub?
Yeah, that's
anyway. But with you, I come in and, like, we talk about what's going on, what are the stressors in my life at that time, and sometimes it's like now at this point, because I'm so used to it, a lot of times I'm saying things, I'm telling you about things that I have not even said out loud, and I'm able to actually connect the dots right there in the moment.
That's
you
amazing.
may not have known that, but a lot of times I'm connecting those dots right there in that moment because you're asking me where the tension is coming from. So I'm asking myself where the tension is coming from. So we end up talking, and I'm like, oh, okay, now I understand. So going into your services, we both have an understanding about what all the tension is about. So since I've kind of brought it to light in the conversation with you beforehand, it's like I'm receiving this massage with a whole different energy, you know?
True,
it's like I'm not receiving it as like a back rub, you know? I'm receiving this as therapy and as, you know, working out this energy, this tense energy that, you know, I've been generating or been absorbing due to whatever is going on with me. So I can think about that and meditate on that, like, while I'm getting the services. So I've always just seen you from that very first experience years ago, just seeing you like as an energy worker, you know, not just a masseuse, you know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, how do you think, because of course, you know, I work with people who've gone through a breakup and heartbreak and stuff like that. How would your experience translate to a person who has suffered a breakup? Like, what do you feel they could get from what I do?
Well, that's a deep one. Well, going just to continue to use that first experience as an example, and it's interesting because at that time I was in a relationship that was not good for me, and I couldn't see it at that time, you know. But anyways, I was having that pain because I was not honoring myself by making choices that were ultimately good for me, you know. And a lot of times we are thinking of what's good for us as, you know, meeting our responsibilities, but that's not the totality of who we are.
Right.
So often we are looking at ourselves as a compilation of all the things we have to do. Right?
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah, and through the lens of who am I in relation to who else is in my life, and that is depending on me or who I'm in relationship with or whatever the case may be, rather than first and foremost looking at what is good for me.